CRISPR is a relatively new gene editing tool. CRISPR's claim to fame, as it were, is that it is more accurate than previous generations of genetic modification techniques, although whether it's accurate enough to use in human beings in various circumstances is still being explored. It's also cheaper and easier to use than past generations. So it's become established in a very short period of time in laboratories around the world, and it can be used on any organism, including human beings.
And the idea behind CRISPR is you can isolate a bad gene and remove it?
The metaphor is that CRISPR is cut and paste for genes. And this is a metaphor that does some explanatory work, but it also can mislead because CRISPR is not like a word processing system in that when you make a change in a document on your laptop, you don't expect that change to proliferate throughout the document and maybe do so for weeks or months. And you don't expect to see a major change that you didn't intend in another part of the document. And there is some indication that that's what you get in certain circumstances with CRISPR. So it's pretty new still. It's very exciting, and there are lots of really thrilling possibilities with CRISPR, but there are also concerns about the safety. And when we talk about applying CRISPR to human reproduction, it opens up a huge set of questions about the social implications. Because if you use a gene editing tool on a human embryo or an egg or a sperm that makes the embryo, those changes will show up in every cell of the resulting child's body. And if that child has children of its own, in every subsequent generation. And to all intents and purposes, it's an irreversible change. So you have to be pretty sure you know what you're doing.
If it's successful, CRISPR could essentially engineer out disease.
It's a very tenuous argument because we already have a way to do that. If you know that you're at risk, you're a carrier of some genetic condition that is going to adversely affect your child, you can already make sure that your child is completely unaffected and genetically related to you and your partner, if you're in a heterosexual couple, by using an embryo screening technique. There's so few cases in which that would not be available to people that it's really hard to understand why there's so much attention being paid to CRISPR and its use in human reproduction.
Because it's just not necessary?
Yeah, the medical argument for it is tenuous at best. We just don't need it. I mean, we know how to make our children healthy. We know we have to give them enough good food to eat and basic health care and clean air to breathe and clean water to drink. And if we want to really seriously think about making our children healthy, that's where we should be putting the bulk of our resources as a society.